from Hollywood and the four corners of the world. You asked for it. Starring Rich Little. Here's the star of You Asked For It, Rich Little.
Thank you, and welcome to the only show on television that takes you around the world in 30 minutes just because you asked for it. Tonight, England, Africa, and Ecuador. A witch doctor cast a spell. A dog that does trick riding on a motorcycle. The world's most unusual beauty treatment, and much, much more. Say, like to water ski, zipping along at 40 miles an hour? Not on your skis, on your hands. That's right, and I mean bare hands. Now, you've got to see this to believe it. And Tony Thomas, our reporter, did see it. Because Rusty Mills of Atlanta, Georgia, you asked for it.
There are many ways to start a barefoot ski run. Starts are part of the competition, and Mike Seipel has invented a few of his own. Mike started skiing when he was 6 and began barefooting at 10. Even at that early age, Mike knew just what he wanted to achieve.
I didn't think I was going to be national champion right off, but by the time I was, let's say, 14, I had it as a goal, you know, to become the best sometime.
Let it happen, Captain.
Trick skiing is Mike's specialty, and what sets him apart is the number of difficult tricks he can quickly execute. This is what a championship trick run looks like. In barefooting, you have to be constantly aware of the edge of the water. Even wearing a special 1-inch thick wetsuit, there's no room for error, because if you catch your little toe at 40 miles an hour, you're in for a painful and dangerous fall. While you're skiing, the water feels good on your feet. If Mike gets tired, however, he can try a little knee skiing. Barefooting is growing in popularity. It can be a brutal sport if you fall, but it doesn't take much equipment. Just a fast boat and plenty of guts to get started.
For one thing, like any other sport, it takes an unbelievable amount of practice and training. You gotta know the water, you gotta have time on the water, and you gotta love the water.
For You Asked For It, Mike's come up with a spectacular new starting trick. This bridge is 20 feet off the water, and Mike's going to attempt a barefoot start from it. He's only got one problem.
Yeah, I'm scared of heights to begin with, you know? Once I'm on the water, I'm fine.
He's ready now. There he goes. And he's up. That was amazing. But Mike Seipel is about to show us his unique specialty, water skiing on his hands. That's Mike Seipel, U.S. champion barefooter and barehander. Because, Rusty Mills, you asked for it.
This is Burt Lancaster. When I was a kid, my mother told me never to go near the water. But I used to practice water skiing on my bare hands. Until she caught me red-handed. Stick around, because right after this, you'll see some people who are getting up in the world, and I mean way up.
And now back to Rich Little.
Can you imagine walking 10 feet tall every day? Well, our Dale Haramoto discovered Joe Long running a stilt walking school in Walking, England. And he has a day like that every day. One thing he can say, though, his pupils are really up on their subjects. Sarah Sack of Brooklyn, New York, you asked for this.
That tall fellow is Joe Long, founder, dean, and faculty of the Joe Long Stilt Walking School in Woking, England.
Hello. Cheers, Tommy. Tuck. All right, tuck.
What qualifies him for his high position? Well, Joe has been stilt walking since he was 9 years old and has been a professional since he joined the circus at 15.
I'm getting old now, and I just wanted someone to take my place. And I've got all these kids now on stilts, and we'd never really looked down.
Today, especially for You Asked For It, Joe's students are strutting their stuff. And as you can see, they're aiming high and walking tall, even if they are a bit stilted.
You follow the kids around. That's it. Hello, how are you? All right? Hi. Things people do for a high life. Hi. Hello there, how are you? All right? Going for a long walk.
Joe has taken the art of stilt walking to new heights with some interesting innovations, like this sky-high soccer match. And like high schools everywhere, after the game, there's the victory dance. Don't you have a shorter pair?
Well, you don't fall off the stilts. Right now, you can't fall.
Okay, don't let me.
Okay.
Don't let me. Really tightly,
Okay. Oh, that's great. Take your time. She's got woodworm. Take your time.
I've been more graceful at other times.
Okay,
I used to be a dancer, you know.
Take your time.
I don't like this. I'm gonna get you later. Oh, I'm up here because Sarah Sack, you asked for it.
Well, I guess you can say that his pupils are head and shoulders above everybody else. One of the best parts of the show are those great nostalgic stories that we bring you by popular demand from the original You Asked For It. Now, these marvelous sequences, the best of 500 shows, are accompanied by another of the show's best points, its wonderful host, Mr. Jack Smith.
Thank you. Thank you, Rich. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, goes an old saying. Well, in the Ubangi tribe of Bunya, Africa, beauty is in the lips of the beholdee, as we found out in 1954, when, in answer to a request from a viewer, we broadcast this unusual interview with some African beauties.
After 10 days of a fruitless search throughout the Belgian Congo, Hal Linker reached Lake Goma, where he was finally put on the track of the Ubangi women by the district commissioner. 500 miles later, he reached the settlement of Butembo. And here he got all the right answers, and with gestures yet. It was just a short hop of 100 miles to Bunia, home of the saucer-lipped women.
This is Hal Linker speaking to you from Bunia in the Belgian Congo. We're about to introduce you to the women with the saucer lips.
These amazing women are the last 15 survivors of a tribe which was once one of the largest in the Congo. The custom of deforming the lips in this manner started many centuries ago, both in the Congo and French Equatorial Africa. It was originally done to make the women unattractive. In doing so, they discouraged the Arab slave traders from selling them. A small hole was pierced in the woman's lip and a small round piece of wood inserted. Sometimes colored beads are added to make the small discs more attractive, though originally the intent was just the opposite. But human nature being what it is, the women were soon competing by inserting larger and larger pieces of wood until in some cases the discs were 6 inches across. No one has ever gotten these women to remove their lip blocks in public, but Hal has a try at it anyway. Even a bribe with a cigarette won't work. Nothing doing here either. I guess women are pretty much the same the world over.
But anyway, here is a message to you in her native tongue. And those words translated mean, you asked for it. So long, everybody.
You know, Jack, I'll bet there's 2 words those women never hear.
What words are those, Rich?
Pucker up. Did you ever have somebody bark at you on the freeway? When we come back, we'll show you a motorist whose bark is worse than his bite.
And now back to Rich Little.
Now here's a warm, touching story about a dog, a man, and his motorcycle. These bikers have been attracting a lot of attention in this town, and one resident writes, I'd like to see more of Bob Pounds and his pooch on your new program. Well, Mr. T.J. Isaacson of St. Petersburg, Florida, you asked for it.
Bob Pounds is like many motorcycle enthusiasts in his sunny hometown of Carmichael, California. And on lazy summer afternoons, Bob's son Mark is often his backseat companion. But Bob has another most unusual riding buddy, Happy, the family's 5-year-old dog. Most of the time, Happy is content with climbing trees and chasing balls. But he can hear the sound of his master's bike from blocks away. And when he does, there's no keeping Happy off. He's nuts about motorcycles.
Okay, Mark, you have to get down now. Happy wants to go for a ride. Come on, Happy. Come on, let's go. Come on. There you go.
Mark used to be a little jealous about giving up his seat, but now he enjoys having a celebrity in the family. Happy got his start riding by chance. A trip to the vet was scheduled, but the family cars were unavailable. So Bob thought, why not the bike? And Happy took to it like a duck to water.
I think all dogs would like to ride in open air if they could get the chance. You know, they hang their heads out windows when they go places. But he enjoyed riding them immediately.
Happy's been riding now for 2 years. And though his style is flashy and looks dangerous, he and Bob have never had a mishap.
The dog is an exceptionally smart dog. It took me about 5 minutes until he was understood that's the way to ride. And then from there on, he knew what to do. He leans into the curves with me as we go into the curves, and he holds on very securely. If a paw should happen to step off of the seat, he just pulls himself back up.
Their only problem is people staring in disbelief. Today is a very special day for Happy. For his national television debut on You Asked For It, Bob is taking him to the local cycle shop for a little sprucing up. A classy rider like Happy should have a bit of flair. And he wears it well. Mr. T.J. Isaacson of St. Petersburg, Florida, here's Happy and Bob Pounds, because you asked for it.
That dog's main problem on the freeway, folks, is that somebody's always trying to tailgate him. Listen, if you know of any unusual animal like Happy, and you'd like to be responsible for his television debut, just write us here and tell us where to find him. The address is You Asked For It, P.O. Box 1980, Hollywood, California, 90028. Here's one way to give a man a hot foot. No, it's not a joke. It's a medical treatment. A letter from Danette Harrington of Muster, Indiana, gave our Georgetta Ruba the idea of consulting a doctor in the remote Ecuadorian village of Ioman, a witch doctor.
This is the home of the brujo, or witch doctor, and tonight we have the rare opportunity of watching him do his work. Our brujo is Jose Luis Moran, one of the most famous witch doctors in the area. The hut is cramped with Moran and his helpers, so there's barely enough room for our camera to operate. The brujo says all sickness can be traced to 3 causes: mal agua, bad water; mal viento, bad winds; or worst of all, mal ojo, the evil eye. Tonight's patient, called the enfermo, has had the evil eye placed upon him and has come to the brujo for help. There is a cure, says the brujo, but it won't be easy. There are some signs of Christianity in the ritual, but these come from the religion forced upon the Indians by the Spaniards. The rest is from the Indians themselves, and much of it dates back thousands of years. Something you can almost feel as you look at the face of the brujo's mother sitting nearby as he works. The enfermo is told he has picked up the evil spell by treating his wife badly. She's here too, to watch the ceremony, and her husband seems quite penitent. The brujo begins to deal with the evil spirits by drinking the heavy sugar cane liquor, aguardiente. He will drink first and then spit it out to release the demons. And when we see this, we know there is strong medicine here tonight. The enfermo must undress from the waist up for the evil spirits to be released. It is a long ceremony and not very pleasant. The brujo will work with him for 2 hours. The brujo passes the ritual objects over the enfermo's body. The objects are supposed to absorb the evil spirits. If the use of eggs is successful, we would find worms inside when they break. That doesn't happen tonight, and so something more drastic is needed. And finally, the brujo beats the enfermo with nettles as the ceremony comes to a climax. It is finished when the brujo throws the leaves away, now contaminated with the evil spirits. In the end, the enfermo sits, stunned in the corner. The nettles have caused welts to rise on his skin, but it is a good sign. The mal ojo, or evil eye, is leaving, and the ritual here has been a success. The brujo of Iluman, his work is part of life for the people who live in the mountains of Ecuador. And we've shared the experience because, Danette Hannigan, you asked for it.
Seriously, kids, don't try this flamethrower trick. No, that witch doctor studied his technique for years. I know it sounds silly to say that, but somebody out there is liable to try that. That's why we said that.
Rich will be back with more in just a moment. And now back to Rich Little.
You know, we get a lot of letters, and people ask me who my best impression is. It used to be Jack Benny. And for years, I used to think that was the funniest one I did, until Jack one day said to me, "Listen, Rich, the only reason people laugh at your Jack Benny is you're a Canadian, and you say, 'Now cut that oot.' That's why they laugh." Anyway, that's our show for tonight. See you next time on... Thank you.